Don't fake it, tell them what you really about. Everything feel perfect.
You are now watching.
You are now watching.
You are now watching Lango Production.
We love you, Lango.
I'm the kid like I'm ever going under. Just get up on that stage, don't fake it, tell them what you really about. Everything feel perfect.
You are now watching.
You are now watching.
You are now watching Lango Production.
We love you, Lango.
I'm the kid like I'm ever going under. Just get up on that stage, don't fake it, tell them what you really about. Everything feel perfect.
You are now watching.
You are now watching.
You are now watching Lango Production.
We love you, Lango.
I'm the kid like I'm ever going under. Just get up on that stage, don't fake it, tell them what you really about. Everything feel perfect.
You are now watching.
You are now watching.
You are now watching Lango Production.
We love you, Lango.
I'm the kid like I'm ever going under. Just get up on that stage, don't fake it, tell them what you really about. Everything feel perfect.
You are now watching.
You are now watching.
You are now watching Lango Production.
We love you, Lango.
I'm the kid like I'm ever going under. Just get up on that stage, don't fake it, tell them what you really about. Everything feel perfect.
You are now watching.
You are now watching.
You are now watching Lango Production.
We love you, Lango.
I'm the kid like I'm ever going under. Just get up on that stage, don't fake it, tell them what you really about. Everything feel perfect.
You are now watching.
You are now watching.
You are now watching Lango Production.
We love you, Lango.
I'm the kid like I'm ever going under. Just get up on that stage, don't fake it, tell them what you really about. Everything feel perfect.
You are now watching.
You are now watching.
You are now watching Lango Production.
We love you, Lango.
I'm the kid like I'm ever going under. Just get up on that stage, don't fake it, tell them what you really about. Everything feel perfect.
You are now watching.
You are now watching.
You are now watching Lango Production.
We love you, Lango.
I'm the kid like I'm ever going under. Just get up on that stage, don't fake it, tell them what you really about. Everything feel perfect.
You are now watching.
You are now watching.
You are now watching Lango Production.
We love you, Lango.
I'm the kid like I'm ever going under. Just get up on that stage, don't fake it, tell them what you really about. Everything feel perfect.
You are now watching.
You are now watching.
You are now watching Lango Production.
We love you, Lango.
I'm the kid like I'm ever going under. Just get up on that stage, don't fake it, tell them what you really about. Everything feel perfect.
You are now watching.
You are now watching.
You are now watching Lango Production.
We love you, Lango.
I'm the kid like I'm ever going under. Just get up on that stage, don't fake it, tell them what you really about. Everything feel perfect.
You are now watching.
You are now watching.
You are now watching Lango Production.
We love you, Lango.
I'm the kid like I'm ever going under. Just get up on that stage, don't fake it, tell them what you really about. Everything feel perfect.
You are now watching.
You are now watching.
You are now watching Lango Production.
We love you, Lango.
I'm the kid like I'm ever going under. Just get up on that stage, don't fake it, tell them what you really about. Everything feel perfect.
You are now watching.
You are now watching.
You are now watching Lango Production.
We love you, Lango.
I'm the kid like I'm ever going under. Just get up on that stage, don't fake it, tell them what you really about. Everything feel perfect.
You are now watching.
You are now watching.
You are now watching Lango Production.
We love you, Lango.
I'm the kid like I'm ever going under. Just get up on that stage, don't fake it, tell them what you really about. Everything feel perfect.
You are now watching.
You are now watching.
You are now watching Lango Production.
We love you, Lango.
I'm the kid like I'm ever going under. Just get up on that stage, don't fake it, tell them what you really about. Everything feel perfect.
You are now watching.
You are now watching.
You are now watching Lango Production.
We love you, Lango.
I'm the kid like I'm ever going under. Just get up on that stage, don't fake it, tell them what you really about. Everything feel perfect.
You are now watching.
You are now watching.
You are now watching Lango Production.
We love you, Lango.
I'm the kid like I'm ever going under. Just get up on that stage, don't fake it, tell them what you really about. Everything feel perfect.
You are now watching.
You are now watching.
You are now watching Lango Production.
We love you, Lango.
I'm the kid like I'm ever going under. Just get up on that stage, don't fake it, tell them what you really about. Everything feel perfect.
You are now watching.
You are now watching.
You are now watching Lango Production.
We love you, Lango.
I'm the kid like I'm ever going under. Just get up on that stage, don't fake it.
All right, chat. We are live. We are here for day 48. I do have a distinguished guest for today's stream. The story of who is Mr. 1, Greg Fahey, as y'all can see on the screen. Me and Coach Greg do go way, 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 way back. We're going to get into it on the stream. But as you can see, his wonderful resume. It's not easy. It takes a lot of hard work. He is a native of New Jersey, just like myself. He was an assistant coach at Fairleigh Dickinson in 2016 to 2018, a grad assistant at Providence from 2018 to 2019, director of basketball operations at Siena in 2019-2021, Assistant basketball coach at Siena. He upgraded, got promoted from 2021 to 2023. Special assistant to the head coach at Georgetown. Huge, huge promotion during that year, 2023 to 2024. Associate head coach at Hampton in 2024-2025, and he's now your current associate head coach and general manager at Hampton University 2025. We love the HBCU love. As you know, I'm a HBCU alum as well, chat. One and only Mr. Greg Fahey.
What up? What up? Appreciate you having me, man. Love it. And they forgot to put St. Benedict's. I started at St. Benedict's, so I got to get with SID and tell them, yo, make sure you add that before Fairleigh Dickinson.
But how you been, my guy? How you been, man? I haven't seen you, haven't talked to you in a while. Reading off your
Yo,
resume, it's like you've been putting the grind in though. You've been putting in that grind.
on the grind, man. Like, yeah, I've been good. I've been good. I can't complain. But it's always good to see my Benedict's guys, our Benedict's guys, doing good things like yourself and like the others that we talked about, a couple days ago. So just love to see you guys grow and you grow this thing. It's just insane how time flies, honestly, because I'm thinking back to Shanley Gym when I'm lining the whole team up, going ones on each other. Like I'm like, yo, everybody can play me one on one, get to work, and then like by the 14th guy, I'm like, dead. But it's just fun, man. It's just fun enjoying the process, enjoying the journey, and getting to talk to yourself and really, people from Jersey or back home. Or I think you could appreciate this as you're on your grind trying to build this thing. Like people that you just mentioned, like this is the Locked In podcast, right? So like you really have to bring someone on that's locked in with you. So I think I just appreciate seeing the people that have known me since the bottom. Um, now and seeing what they're doing now. So I just think that's pretty cool. So yeah, thank you for including me on this tonight.
It was a no brainer when I started doing this podcast thing. I was like, I have one thing in mind. Like with me, whenever I make a plan, whenever I have a goal, I know exactly how I want to do it. So with this, I'm like,
Hmm.
I went to a school that's so unique, and I know so many people in the sports world, fashion world, music world that are all doing great things, such as yourself. I seen you from the bottom, and if I just touch on each person's individual story, by default, I'm gonna blow up for the simple fact of you guys are all doing so many good things. It's like, who is this one person
For
that is
sure.
talking to all these people that everyone knows, but not too many people can get in contact with or have the rapport to be able to speak with? Who is this guy? Let's keep finding out more and more. But it's like I've been along those journeys. I've been, like you said, locked in for years. Like you mentioned, the Shanley. Hearing that
Yep.
name alone is just like mind blowing to me. I haven't heard of Shanley in so long. Shanley Legends, Shanley All Stars, the practices, everything. But we're
Hmm.
gonna get right into it. We're not gonna dilly dally around it. We're gonna start right from the beginning. Start from where we met at Benedict's. What was your first year getting to Benedict's?
Yeah, my like excuse me, like how I got there, you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, like how I got there, I graduated college, I was a manager, and I was tired of washing laundry and stuff. So I just wanted to jump like right into it. I knew like I didn't play college basketball, so I wanted to get around the best talent possible. And somebody on the team at Marist, who I was a manager for, he had a connection to Coach Pearson at Benedict's. And I actually turned down a couple of D1 positions to coach at Benedict's. I was making like 3 grand as the freshman coach and assistant varsity coach, and then I would do like odd jobs on the side. Eventually, got a teacher's aide job up in Montville, New Jersey. But I just was attracted to Benedict's because I knew there were, Coach Dell was an excellent coach. Coach Pearson was a really good coach, and you guys had talent. And my whole family grew up in West Orange, so Essex County. I just like Essex County. You're in the mix. And then I think once you get to Benedict's, you kind of get ingrained in the culture, right? Like it's less is more. Everyone picks up after each other after the games. It doesn't matter if Trayvon Duvall is the #1 point guard in the country. He's picking up the bottles at the bleachers, right?
That's a
I'm
fact.
washing my own jerseys, right? I'm running my own program. I'm going with Mr. Leahy on the little short bus to go play Bridgewater Raritan, right? So I think my
Facts.
first year was a year of me finally being able to just be myself and let loose from 4 years of college of learning
Okay.
and just getting to work with young people like yourself. And it's just a crazy process of when you're young. I was 22 and I spent 3 years there at 25 to see a human go from like shy, can't talk, to like prom, to like getting a license, to like graduating and getting a scholarship, right? So I got that at St. Benedict's. and from everyone from going high major to kids that just went on and got engineering degrees, right? So my first year at Benedict's, man, like I tell everybody, like if I could have it my way, I'll retire and just like work at Benedict's or like coach high school basketball or whatever when my career comes to a close. But yeah, my first year at Benedict's, that was it was a good time, man. It was
What was
fun.
that? 20
13, 14.
13, 14.
Yeah, 13, 14. So damn, yeah, 13, 14, 14, 15, 15, 16. So it'll be, yeah, damn, this season will be 10 years since I've been there. You know?
So we
It's
got we
crazy.
got to the same time.
Yeah, we got the same time. Yeah.
So I transferred in
Yep.
and I didn't play basketball my first year.
I was gonna say, because I don't think you were on the freshman team that I had on.
No. I transferred in as a sophomore from Stony Brook in Long
Yep.
Island, where I started on JV
Yep.
as a freshman. I was with the varsity team. My grades ended up going to Bendix last minute. Had no idea know about anything about Bendix whatsoever, and I'm from Jersey. It's kind of crazy. I don't make the
That's crazy.
team. Still don't understand how that happened to this day. And then that's when we crossed paths.
Yep.
I was a gym rat. I like to be around the game of basketball. As I was there, I quickly learned, oh, this is a school of talent. So I prided
Yep.
myself on staying around the team, staying hungry, staying dedicated, just showing like, hey, I can hoop with these same guys. And a huge
Yep.
credit of that goes to yourself. Like I mentioned it off camera chat, but I'm gonna let you know now. Like one thing about Coach Fahey, he's a player's coach. As he mentioned, he said he lined us up. You all can get it one on one. Doesn't matter. Like he was the guy that he would get in there. If coach was upstairs, his extra free time, he'll come hoop with whoever. It didn't matter because he loved the game of basketball. So we connected in that rapport because he's like, "Oh, you can hoop. Why aren't you on the
Yep.
team? Did you try out? Yeah. Well, make sure you try it again next year. No problem. If they needed an extra body, because I think we only had like 8 players on that JV team, and you had
Yeah, it was
Matt and
small. Yeah,
Jello
guys were going.
practicing up, like it was the weirdest thing ever. So that I'd be in the gym
Yeah.
sometime. They'd be like, "Yeah, you want to run? Yes,
Yep.
absolutely." Would I learn the plays? No, obviously not. But I could do everything else. I could run that scout team, and it all
Oh,
paid
yeah.
off. So with you starting back then, you say you did 3 years at Benedict's. Like, what did you learn throughout those 3 years? Like, and we're gonna touch on a lot of things, not a lot of things, but a good amount of things about that time because we were both a part of the last team to go to Geico Nationals.
Yeah, facts. Facts. Yeah, I think I learned a lot at Benedict's, man. Like just about connecting with young people. I think I've been good at connecting with people. I just didn't really know it. But like just treating people with respect. I learned how to coach people from different backgrounds. From different family lives, different economic incomes. Like all that different stuff. Like who's going through what at home. Learned about tradition. Learned about respect from the school values. Learned a lot of basketball from Coach Taylor. Coach Taylor's, he's just as good, if not better, than some of the college coaches I know or have been around. So learned a lot about that. But I think I just learned how to grind, right? Like I knew how to grind in college, but like we were all on that grind together because you guys were great sports, but you want to practice in Shanley where the corner three is gonna hit the top of the track, like it's flooded. We got to pull the
The Mets,
cover
yeah.
off the mats. Then we got to put them back on, right? Our freshman JV schedule's kind of messed up. We're playing some teams 3 times because we can't get one team once, right? So I think I just learned how to grind there, and I learned also the business of basketball comes down to players. You got to be around players if you want to advance in the business. So I learned a lot about the business of basketball, but the most important thing career wise is established a baseline of relationships because it was the first year. Who's that white kid at Benedict's? Oh yeah, whatever. The second year, oh, is that who's it? Greg? Yeah, yeah. And then the third year, that's he's Benedict's guy, right? Like so, like they knew, like even now, until Coach Taylor just left, but like they knew that if you hired me, you're gonna get St. Benedict's ties and New Jersey ties, along with I coach City Rocks on the EYBL. So I think I just learned the business about it, and I learned I learned that I like the cracks. I like getting in the like I like the grittiness of I don't want the flashing lights and the flashy stuff. Like
Oh
give me
yeah.
Benedict, gym packed out with I think his name was Andrew, the good dancer, running
Oh
up and
my,
down.
yeah, my God! Shout out Andrew Bryce, man. Shout out Andrew. That's crazy. That's
Give
crazy.
me that all day. Give me that all day. So like that's really it, man. Like just building with good people, you know?
Okay, so since we talked about briefly, like I said, we were both a part of the, in my opinion, arguably the best team to come out of Benedict's record wise. Name wise,
Right.
you can argue whatever you want to argue because we
Sure,
got names.
sure.
But in terms of actual production and what we produce, I think we had the best team because no one's beat 35-2. That's gonna
Mm.
be that's gonna be difficult. But you were a part of some really solid teams throughout those 3 years. You had Nate, you had
Yeah.
Trey, you had Gums, you had AT, you had Barama, you had
Johnny
Johnny Williams
Williams.
from VCU.
Mhm.
You had Kamar McKnight. Like you had a plethora of talent, including my whole varsity team, with
Yep.
Monty.
Yep.
Even knowing
David
CJ a
Lee.
little bit because they were practicing up.
Yeah,
Uh,
they're
you
eighth
know,
grade.
you know what I'm saying? Like, what was it like just teaching talent of that level at that young age as well? Kyle, you said you got to be around good talent to even kind of grow with the game and the business, but just actually seeing on a day to day, like, these are quote unquote people that the world is hearing about, but I'm seeing this every day. The mistakes, the parts that we have to correct, the coaching, the development. Like, what was that like for you?
Yeah, at first it was eye-opening, right? Because I went to a high school that didn't really have Division I players. Then I went to Marist College, who had good Division I players, but we didn't have like necessarily high major talent that Benedict's have. So then first I go to Benedict's and I'm like, oh damn, like uh, everyone's dunking every other possession or whatever. Everyone's high flyers. Like you can be 1,000 point scorer and still be the eighth man. So first I was like, wow, this is exposing me to high level talent and what it takes. And then you probably start to get content or comfortable in regards like this is the expectation, right? Like this is what it is, and it's just another day. But I remember bringing my friends from home being like, "Oh my God, like this kid's so big. Oh my God." I remember bringing, Barama and all those dudes from Sweden to my house for you know holidays. Shit, I remember I left and I was coaching at FDU, living in Morristown in an attic
Uh huh.
with some of my boys, and Precious didn't have a place to sleep a couple times because there was like something going on at the house, and he slept on my futon, and I drove him to school. Like, and now he's just playing for the Knicks. So like it's crazy,
Crazy.
but that talent level in the moment I probably didn't appreciate it as much as to when I look back now. I'm like, damn, like our eighth grade team had Noah Farrakhan and CJ Wilcher, who, CJ was at Maryland, Texas A&M, Noah was at West Virginia, like, and then ended his career at Hampton. But like, that was our eighth grade team, right? Like Tokes, I think was on that team. Like Tokes was a starter in the MAC, like St.
Yep.
Peter's Riders. So,
Yep.
um, those were like in Jersey basketball is different. And like if you guys hoop on this that are listening to this, like every state was probably different, but Jersey basketball was different at that point because it wasn't sexy or cool to leave for South Kent or La Lamere or even Montverde was kind of maybe plucking guys, but like that wasn't it. It was like stay at the home. If anything, it was like we're transferring to Benedict's because we, want to go to a regular school or conference tournament or maybe be in a co-ed type of setting, whatever. It wasn't like, hey, we're going to treat Benedict's like a JUCO too and then bounce. So that's very different too, and that was special. Like that Geico national team, that was and going into those deep rivalry games and whatnot. St. Peter's prep packed out, Benedict's packing out. Yeah, man, that was special. Those rosters.
Do you remember that that Geico team and the run we went on? Like, do you
Yeah, the run was
17 and
the run.
0, first loss,
Yeah,
like it really hurt up in
yeah,
Massachusetts. Shout out Marcus
yeah.
Howard. He must have had like
Yeah, Marcus
40.
Howard
He lit it,
plays a buck.
did not miss. So now we're
No.
mad. I never got cursed out so
Was P
bad.
was PJ on that team too? PJ Washington, was he on that team?
I think so.
He might have been. He might have been.
I think
That
so.
team, Family Prep, yeah, Family Prep was fucking man. They were loaded. Damn,
They
they were
pat
loaded.
That was the only bad loss. We beat West Town with Cam Reddish and Mo Bamba. We beat Huntington
Yep.
Prep with Miles Bridges. We like, oh yeah,
Right.
we big dogs. Like we all right. We've been on a
Yep,
road
yep.
trip.
And we beat La Lemire first down in Delaware.
Like come on now. Yep, at the slam dunk
Yeah,
at the
Delaware,
beach.
Delaware
Yep.
Beach. Yep, beat them. Yeah, that was a crazy run, man. That was a crazy run. That taught me what winning was really about. And then like even in Geico, like we were so close. Like some of our guys didn't play up to speed, but that was crazy, man. That was
It
that
came
that
down
run.
to that last shot. But I'm glad you touched on the grind and just how crazy that run is. Because I have a clip that
Yeah.
people always ask me about, especially when I first got to college.
Prince.
Do you remember us doing these workouts? People always ask me, like,
Yeah.
so we had XYZ record, you got all these people, but, like, what is y'all workouts like? What did y'all do on the day? I'm like, well, you can go watch it.
Yeah,
it's, on,
facts.
it's on
No, yeah,
YouTube.
facts.
We barely lifted weights. We did a lot of conditioning and all
Yep.
calisthenics. I don't think there was any major injuries on the team that year. I think I might have been the only person that sat out for an extended period of time. That's when I hurt my ankle right before the season started, which pissed me off. But
Yep.
outside of that, this is all we did. Like, I don't remember you being at this practice. I think y'all had to go scout. But I feel like also being here as a player, like looking back on it now, just seeing everything that y'all had to do and understanding how coaches work now, it's like you said, they really made you have to grind. Like you don't have a special person to go do this for you and then you break it down, you give it to the coach. Like, no, I am also that scout. When we're there at practice, I'm at a game watching, taking notes to then help come up with whatever plays, whatever systems. We're in there exhausted, we're
Shout out Dan
tired.
Moss right there.
Shout
Shout
out
out
my
Dan
guy
Moss.
Dave. He at University of Miami right now coaching. But like
Yeah,
this is where it all started. This is at least 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. It's pitch black dark. I think this is like our
indeed.
our second set. Like we used to come in there on Saturdays and Sundays, be snow outside. We just making up drills, just doing stuff. Because at the end of the
Yep.
day, basketball, I feel like you have to have a lot of creativity. And within our offense, we were structured in terms of running the triangle offense, but we had the freedom to go play basketball. So you had to be creative. You had to be. Look at me back there dying. I'm doing ropes. I haven't worked out like that since.
Oh yeah.
And these are
Prince
all
Stewart. Prince Stewart, who's running this workout in the white shirt, is probably the most energetic person I've ever been around. I actually used to train a whole high school program. So I trained Livingston, the entire high school program. I trained Randolph, the entire high school program, and I would go there, 3, 4 times a week to train like these kids, like the entire program. And year two of doing that, I actually hired Prince, and I'd pay him to come and do a circuit like this with those teams, and his energy was infectious. So he was a guy that like this workout is hard, but he's like sweating with you. He's getting through it with you. And Coach Pearson, give Coach Pearson credit. He found Prince. He found, myself. He found certain guys. He found weight room guys to make this program better. But I love that you found this because this makes me look like I'm like, and you were just almost dying right there. But this makes me remind myself of like, it's maybe we got to go a little harder at Hampton because this is it right here. This is the true grind.
like this. I would never forget. Like we had little weights for run across. Like it's not heavy,
Yeah.
but you go up and down
Holding it up
five
here, yeah, you
times. It's
gotta
like
look
wait a
at here.
minute, this is real heavy
Yep,
right now. Like this was a
yep.
true grind, a true test. And then at this point, this came out when? What part of the year
Yeah,
did
when
this
is
come out? This came out 9 years ago, but what part of in February? So at this point,
2013?
we had already lost that one game. So we're like, we're not losing again. We're one
Yeah.
loss in. We were at this point probably 22 or something and one.
This is like 2015 or 16 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like this is what it's all about, and I only show this with the actual coach on the stream. So once again, thank you for coming on because like, he can validate the fact that like a lot of kids now, you said it, they bounce from place to place. They go, they're comfortable, they kind of can slack. Whereas here, it didn't matter who you were, what you were ranked, if you were ranked, because none of us were even ranked on this team. It's about putting in the work in, fighting for each other, and at the end of the day, we had the best outcome. We didn't lose. We didn't like losing. We didn't want to lose, and we understood the bigger picture. Like this is our
No
star
doubt.
point guard talking like, yeah,
Yeah,
this
David
this is
Beasley.
work. Like, yeah, this is what I came here for. Like people don't come to Benedict's to relax. They come here for a reason to get that exposure to grind because they know it's different. It's not a IMG. It's not a Montverde or any of these big schools where it's lavishly looking and great basketball. And no, this is in downtown Newark. All boys. You're in school from July to almost July, and
Yeah,
you really gotta love it. And we all did, and it showed. But this brought back some huge memories.
I love it. Yeah, I
Huge
love it. Prince,
memories.
and
But
Prince is
look at
doing
him.
his thing down in Florida still. Yeah, he's crazy. Prince is doing his thing down in Florida still. Yeah, I love it. This is what you call culture. This was the culture, man. And everyone brought each other up. Even our guy Kevin in the background there, the manager,
Yup.
like
Yup.
Kevin. Like that's insane.
It's
That's insane. Yeah. I watched this clip before, but not like I watched it probably about 5 years ago. So it's good to see this stuff. You think of it now, like David Beatty, he's doing his thing, training, trying to get in college coaching. Jaden Sandler's coaching college,
you know,
Mississippi State.
and they
You
all
know,
had D1 careers. Jaden went to Southern, then
yep,
where was he at
St.
for? I think
Peter's,
Townsend Southern. Monty went to
St. Pete,
St. Peter's. Yep. Then
Kennesaw,
Monty was at
Kennesaw.
Kennesaw State. Then he went to Temple.
Yep,
We said Dave was at Southern De La Salle. Warren went to Manhattan College. AT's at George Washington. Barama's at Syracuse. Dalen went to
yep,
Winston Salem. I forgot what
yep.
school Matt played for. Matt played in college. I'm the only one that didn't play in college.
I think he was Lancaster Bible College, the Bible college he went
I'm the
to,
only
maybe.
one that didn't play in college. That's because I went the media route.
Yep, yep,
I
yep.
covered all the games. I did the film, and that's why it translates to podcasting. But these are all D1 guys that are being recruited heavily. So you don't got to be ranked. You don't got to be number one. You got to do your job.
Mhm.
You got to execute, and good things will still come. Like we were 35-2.
100%.
We didn't care. We had no egos, and that was the biggest thing. And it's two of them, but that's just show a little bit of that. Well, once again,
Yeah.
so you transitioned after those 3 years from Benedict's. What was the decision to leave? Like, what was that? What gave you the idea of like, you know what, now is the time?
Yeah, hard decision to leave because you're around a lot of talent. But I felt as though when you get to a certain place, like if I had a regular job, if I was an accountant or something, like I probably would have just never left, right? But like when you want to accomplish something, you have to, like you said, you have to have a plan, right? Write it down, execute it, look at it. What do you want to do? So my plan after Benedict's was like, okay, I want to break in to college, but I want to still really put a good grasp on the state of New Jersey. So I didn't want to leave Jersey. So I was like, what can I do? And I found, I just needed to get on a college bench to learn a college process, learn how college admissions works, learn how college recruiting works, learn do a college scout. And like one of my mentors told me when I was weighing out, like, do I take this FDU, Madison gig or do I just stay at Benedict's? And he said, listen, even though FDU Madison is just an okay D3, you're not going to get paid a ton of money. It shows that there was a process, people applied, you interviewed, and you beat out other people for that job, right?
It's a fact.
So, and I knew Division 3 was going to allow me to continue to coach City Rocks. So there was no rules against that. So I found that attractive. I just signed a lease with my childhood friends in Morristown, was the town over from FDU. So when all that added up, it was like, hey, what are you going to top 35-2 going to Nat Geico? What, maybe win Geico? I did, and I felt as though I like staying places 3 years. I feel like you solidify your like foundations. Um, so when FDU came and I got it, I was like, you know what, I'm going to grab this. And then what happened was you can recruit longer in more days than a Division 1 coach when you're D3. There's not really as many rules, right? So like, but what I find myself happening to me would be I go to a game and it's St. Mary's versus Benedict's or something, right? Or
Hmm.
St. Mary's versus Roselle Catholic. Okay, I go
Okay.
to Roselle, I sit down. These D1 coaches would now sit next to me because A, they're in New Jersey. so they know I just got done coaching at Benedict's, right? I know the landscape, I know the information. B, I can go out more than them, and then C, I coach City Rock. So now I have an FDU T-neck polo on, but I'm sitting in the bleachers, and Lehigh and Stony Brook and whoever, they're Monmouth, are sitting next to me. Gee, what's going on with this kid at Benedict's? Gee, what's going on with this City Rock kid? Boom, 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 boom. So now FDU was the vehicle to build more relationships, right? While staying in New Jersey. So that really helped me the course of those 2 years, and then understanding processes on a college campus. Hey, admissions is a really important office that you need a relationship with. Stop by when you don't need anything just to say hello, right? Like the EO, the D3, the EOF program, Equal Opportunity Fund. Okay, I learned about it. I can go into Newark and get a kid to apply here, and if he gets accepted into EOF, he can go for 6,200 instead of 50 grand, right? Like learning those processes, so I knew when I got to the next jump, I know how to navigate a college campus. So that was kind of my mindset.
That's actually wow. Wow. That's a good breakdown. So, do you think that like when it comes to being a coach, you like where did you get that eye for it? Because you just really broke down obviously you had a plan, how you executed your plan, how you're developing those skills, but what even got you to even start coaching?
Yeah, start coaching. I played three sports in high school. I was on the drum line in the marching band. I was a volunteer fireman till I was 25 in my hometown. So I just did a lot of things, right? And you do a lot of things, so you can appreciate this. You get to college, and it's like you're running on a treadmill, and then it stops, right? Because you don't have these three sports. You don't have this over here. So the first month of college, I was just like, I went into college, I went to work in the CIA, right? Like that's I didn't have any thought of coaching. This is what I'm doing, CIA. Let's go, hunt these terrorists and figure it out, right? Like so like that's just how I was coming. And I really didn't want to do anything else. But I got bored. I was like, okay, my homework's done, and you're a former athlete, I'm an athlete, former athlete at high school. It's like, what am I doing with all this time? And I'm at a house party when maybe like a month in, I bump into like a group of three dudes that are managers of the basketball team. I don't know anything about it. I'm just talking to them, and they're like, "Oh, you should come by, like try it out." Da 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 da. And I was like, "All right, yeah, maybe, whatever." So then went to practice. Now you get back in a gym, you get that sense. You're dribbling a ball. You're around a team, something bigger than you, right? And that was it. I was like, "Yo, I like this." And so then I got kind of into learning the video, learning the back end stuff. Do that for like 2 years. I'm still kind of like locked in on CIA stuff. And then when I become a junior, I I didn't even realize like coaches make like decent money. Like I had no idea. And then when I was junior, start like looking into it a little more. And I'm like, like, and then senior year, I started like doing skill development with the guys on the team. And around late mid junior year, and then all senior, I was doing skill development. I really took a liking to that, and I was like, you know what, this beats going
CIA
overseas
any
to,
day.
to Belgrade. So yeah, that's kind of that I kind of went down that path, but I think I just have a different perspective on coaching because I also like business side of things. I also like, like that CIA side of things, but I really enjoy connecting the dots. And I'm a very curious person. Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. So when you're saying like how I had a plan or how I figured out that process, I think similar to what you said about building this and whatnot, like, just writing, thinking, and connecting dots and spending time doing that. I think I'm different in that way where I'm not just like basketball 24/7. Like I never wanted to be that coach. Like I see you coming down the hallway and I'm coming to you and it's not practice and it's a random time and we're at Benedict's. I'm like, hey, how about that ball screen you set? Like I want to be like, yo, what's up, man? Like, what you listening to? Oh yeah, I was just listening in the car. Okay, all right, bet. I'll see you later. Boom. Like so I
Players
think like
coach.
that's yeah, that's where I'm different. Like, I want you to send your son to Hampton and be around people that have other interests outside of basketball. Now we're gonna work just as hard, and we're gonna put in that grind. But I want him to be able to sit down and talk about his favorite artist, or if he wants to talk about investing, or if he wants to talk about Twitch, or like whatever. So I think that's good to be well versed as a coach.
And you've had this from the beginning. I will never forget. Tell me if you remember. I remember one of like the third or fourth time I got sent up to a varsity practice, and we were running. We were doing 17s, and I didn't make it. I missed it by like 2 seconds. Coach Taylor flipped. He was like, "What are you doing up here? If you can't make the running, why are you even here? Who brought him upstairs? Send him back downstairs." So I go back down. It was me and Dalen. The very next day, you see
Okay.
me, and you're like, "Bro, he was just pissed at the team already. Like that wasn't for you." I was like, "I know it couldn't have been because first of all, half the people didn't even actually do it. They just stopped. Here I am trying to prove
Yep.
myself, getting the actual rep in, and I missed it by 2 seconds, and I get yelled at. That's backwards. You like, yeah, I know, bro. Like, just you're fine. Next week I'm right back
Yep.
upstairs. So you always had that connection to players, and seeing this resume, like it kind of makes sense, especially as you talk about it. Like you go into Fairleigh Dickinson to get that understanding of college in general at a smaller scale instead of going super big. Because as you said, like it's a smaller school, less rules. You have more time to figure it out. It's like you transition perfectly from being in a lot more structure at Benedict's. However, you had to do everything on your own to a little bit less structure at D3, but you still got to do everything on your own. So you still have that hands-on feel to actually navigate it. And then, as you see, you made the decision to go to Providence for that grad job. What made you go back to school to further?
Yeah, good question. So at FDU, my boss actually got let go after my second year, and I was in each year I was looking to crack Division 1. That's the ultimate goal, right? But so it's funny. I also was weighing this like, do I want to be a head high school coach or do I want to crack D1? Like because like my mom, I was like, okay, I'm 27. If I could get a head high school job now, that doesn't happen in Jersey. Jersey doesn't hire head coaches under 30 in basketball and football. So if you can get one, it's like, a big deal. So I actually end up becoming the head coach. A lot of people don't know this at Wardlaw Hartridge, down in Edison, I think maybe down that way.
Okay.
So I become the head coach there. I'm only there for like 3 months, right? This like maybe April, May, June, July, maybe 4 months, right? And they told me a couple things, like yeah, we can get this guy in, yeah, this guy this guy that. So you know who I have come on a visit. This is exactly how I ended up Division 1, and how I who I have come on a visit. Toby O'Connor, you know Toby, right?
Yeah.
Yep, Toby ended up. For those who don't know, Toby uh, just finished his career at West Virginia University last year, and is killing. He's a pro overseas. So Toby comes on a visit to Wardlaw Hartridge, who's in the GMC Gold Conference. Terrible conference, no disrespect, and hasn't really won in a long time. Right? I got this dude, on coming on a visit and submit his transcript. And, one of the administrators there pulls me in and when Toby's about 10 minutes out from campus and says, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, this kid has, a 3.3 GPA." I said, "Yeah, what's wrong?" And he goes, "Well, let me just explain to you how it works here. Like he's at public school. So public school 3.3 we view as a 2.3." And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "We can't get him in." I was like, "So what if he was at Seton Hall Prep?" And they're like, "Well, Seton Hall Prep 3.3, we view it as probably like around a 3.0." And he's like, "But if they were at like an equal academic institution like Rutgers Prep, he would be 3.3, would be a 3.3." I'm like, and you got to keep composed. You can't flip it, right? Like, okay, no problem. And in my mind, 2 days before that, Providence College, where I was a GA, I found out had a GA spot open. I called some of my people and said, "Hey, is this definitely open?" They said, "Yeah, you want us to plug you?" I said, "Hold on, let me think about it." The best thing that happened to me was Toby O'Connor not being allowed to come to Wardlaw Hartridge. Best thing that happened to me because I had a couple dudes coming, and Toby was like he was gonna locked in. So that dude, that administrator, that said nope, we're not allowed. And so Toby comes, I show him around, I sit him down, I said let me boom boom boom, let me go work with financial aid. I come back, I just say hey man, like you know it's not gonna work because of the price. It's that I can't get him down. But really, it was the academics, and but what I did was I called Benedict's, and I immediately got him to Benedict's, and he blew up at Benedict's. So he leaves, his dad leaves, and I step outside. I make that phone call. I said, "Yo, make the call. I want to interview at Providence." 2 days later, I get a call from Providence. I'm out in Morristown, New Jersey, celebrating a friend's birthday. It's like 10:30 at night. We're at like Iron Bar or some shit, I walk outside. I call, hey, can you be up here tomorrow at 8 a.m.? I'm like, yeah, no doubt. Boom, click. Immediately walk home. Don't sleep. Like shower, leave like at 2 in the morning. Get up there at 6. I'm sleeping in the parking garage up there just to make sure I'm on time, no traffic and interview, and then like a week later, I get it. Walk into Wardlaw Hartridge, tell everybody thank you, I'm out. Obviously, they weren't happy. The AD understood because his son coached college football, but the administration was like, "What? How you? What? So, and that was my first crack. Coach Cooley gave me my first crack in college basketball, Division I college basketball, which I'm really appreciative of. And yeah, that was a crazy sequence of events in my life. But if they let Toby come to that school, I would have looked at it as a young dude like, nah, I'm about to roll. I'm about to be the next one up.
Yeah.
Blah 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 blah. So it was a blessing.
You said it like you don't get a coaching job under the age of 30. It's not in Jersey, not a head coaching job. So
No.
if you get one, you're kind of not gonna say set for life, but that's your program. And
Yeah, for
now
sure.
if you gotta hit the ground running though. You can't come out losing a lot, and it's like we just left tradition or
No,
older coaches for what. So that's
no,
actually a crazy
no.
backstory. I would not have if I just someone just looked at your resume, they would not assume the grind you just said. Because a lot of people would be like, all right, Providence, yeah, make that call, etc., etc. 8 a.m. Dang, I'm out right now. I gotta export. No, you dropped everything, got straight to it
Drop it
because
all.
business is business. So like you said, I really do appreciate that because people who put in the work to a craft that they really want, when those opportunities come, you gotta seize them. I always say on my podcast, all success is preparation plus opportunity. You were
For
already
sure.
ready. You already knew what you wanted. You already had the game plan. You got the opportunity. You seized it, and now you're successful. It's that simple. Like it's it's literally that simple. So
I agree.
once you got to Providence, you finally cracked that D1. Going
Mm.
back to a place that you've already been, what was that like? Like how did you feel just going back, like coming home and just wow, actually I get to make an impact now.
Yeah, Providence. Yeah, Providence was great, man. It was if you're from the Northeast and you coach basketball, most guys like their mecca is the Big East Conference. Like it's not anything else, right? So just being exposed to that, being exposed to like a high level program, and then like your theory getting validated of getting around talent is what matters. And here's what I mean like this. First week on the job, I'm doing the make the peanut butter and jellies, no problem. I'm no bigger than anything, right? Restock the fridge. That's what GAs do. Rebound, started working guys out at night because they saw my Instagram. Cool, do that, boom, boom, boom. A couple, coaches kind of talking to you, kind of not talking to you. Second week I'm there. G, meet us outside. We want you to take the recruits' bags. All right, make sure we welcome them in. Who pulls up? None other than St. Patrick's guard Alamir Dawes, right? We went
Wow.
against Alamir at Benedict's a couple times. Al gets out the whip, and before he even daps these guys up, gee, what up? What are you doing here? I didn't know you got on here, blah, 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 blah. So now, right, the staff's like, making PB&Js. What? Like, so like my boss now was like, yo, you know this kid? I was like, yeah, man. Like we've been going against Al for a minute. He's like, man, come here. Like, yo, you got to talk to him. We got this, and then like that's how me and my boss our relationship hit off like that. Um, so seeing that come to full circle, right? Like what was pretty cool. Being around Coach Cooley, who's one of the best, if not the best human in college basketball, yet alone, life. He took care of me, took just being around that high level, process, I guess I would say, how everything works, right? I'm very like process oriented, how everything works. That was really cool. And then there's nothing, I don't care what type of basketball head you are, fucking if you love it, you hate it, you're in the middle. I don't care who you are. There's nothing like touching the floor at the Mecca, Madison Square Garden. And we played there twice. And after that, those games, you come up in that elevator, you go right about around that big ass hill. You got to walk up. You come through the back entrance, the tunnels, get on that court MSG. I've been fortunate to be there. What 1, two, three, I think four times with Providence and Georgetown. So there's nothing better. So just being exposed to that, it's motivating, right? Like just like you're building this thing and you get another follower and you get another subscriber and it's motivating. So I'm gonna keep going, boom, boom, boom. Let's stack good days, right? So sometimes I'm a big believer in when you get into a rhythm of something, sometimes you got to go away to reframe, refocus, and get other ideas, and to remind yourself this is why I started and this is where I'm going. So, like for me, at Benedict's long days, maybe I'll drive to a Seton Hall practice. Okay, man, they got a steam shower. I'm going to be here one day. For you, maybe you bump into a streamer or something, and you're like, oh man, oh you really mess with your stuff. That's what's up, right? So that getting to Providence was like, yep, this is where I want to be. Like I'm on the right track.
To piggyback on what you just said, you hit it nail on the head. Literally, like I've had conversations with top streamers before. Coincidence. My friends have been
Mhm.
out. They've seen them. They know what I do. Hey, can I call my friend real quick? You just give some advice. And I've been on the phone with top streamers, just having conversations to, like you said, validate. Like, yeah, my obsession with my craft isn't insanity. Like I believe,
Yep.
I saw Will Smith say, I like to give credit to things that I hear from people I actually heard it from. I don't take the credit, but Will Smith was like, you have to be so obsessed with your craft to the point that someone else believes in you. No one is gonna be with you at first. So you probably told people,
Yeah.
yeah, I want to be a coach at first. They're like, you played in high school, you know basketball, but coaching, you're not gonna
Yeah.
coach nobody.
Yeah.
But you keep grinding and grinding and grinding and checking off those small boxes. Once you start making your strides, like, oh, he's serious. Okay, I'm gonna help him along the way. And now I'm really locked on because I see you're serious about it. But a lot of people, you gotta show them exactly what you gotta show them before they believe what you're telling them. So
I agree.
see us both on this journey, like you said, I get more followers. I'm like, yep, that's a sign. Keep going. I did my birthday was last
100.
week, and I got Luther, the interview I did with Luther Muhammad, which is on YouTube. If y'all want to go watch it, y'all can go check it out. Was on my birthday, and that was like another stamp of like, no, like I know of Luther. He was at Benedict's your first year. They were in
Yep.
seventh, eighth grade, which was mind blowing. Him and Javon, mind
Yep.
blowing. And now to have actually interview him on the flip side of our high school and college careers and have a conversation as a basketball fan, but as someone that actually knows you, is like that's another stamp because like you said, Jersey is a huge basketball state, and certain names, no matter where
Yeah.
you are, will always ring bells, and that's one of those names. To the coaches, your name is one of those names. I'll never forget hooping against you because it's like there's not too many coaches that can also go hoop, and the ones
No,
that
no
can,
doubt.
you
No doubt.
remember them. You're one of them,
No,
and I'll never forget Kerwin because Kerwin would shoot like Derek Fisher.
Kerwin, nice as fuck. Yeah, Kerwin's good. He's a good ball player, bro.
If
He was
Kerwin,
fucking good.
if Kerwin pump fake, Kerwin's pump fake chat. If I'm sitting in a chair, but Kerwin literally would be sitting in a chair on his pump fake, show you the ball,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
nothing
yeah.
else will move
But
but this. And you
yo,
thought he was
he was
shooting it
good.
every time. I promise. I promise. Shout
Yeah,
out Coach
he was
Kerwin,
way
man.
better. Yeah, he was good, man. But yeah, you definitely yeah, like I like to say to young coaches or just young people that are trying to, do something, like we're all on this journey together, just trying to build, like that's, and I truly believe that. Like I believe that, like, and that's why I love doing things like this. And first you're at one subscriber and then you're at 50,000, right? That's how fast it happens.
No cap. No cap. So back to the story, with the story of Mr. One Greg Fahey. So you're at Providence, you get around this high levelness. Obviously, every step you've already gone, you're already progressing further and further. And but all the previous steps before have given you small glimpses into what could be. Like the fact that you
Yep.
got to Providence, you're at the Mecca, your flights, trains, buses, I'm sure, to get to
Yep.
games. You had a small exposure to that all the way back from the beginning with Benedict's, when we got stuck in Florida for a week.
Yep. Yep.
I
Yep.
tell that story all the
Facts.
time. People are like, "You did what? How?" I'm like, "Yeah, we had no
Mm-hmm.
money. Shout out Nike. We was in Florida
Yep.
for a week. So then, years later, you're actually traveling, playing in these same areas. Like, did you have a sense of comfortability around this point in time, or were you still like, all right, what's next on your agenda as you were at Providence?
Yeah, as I was at Providence, I knew what the goal was in mind. The goal was to be a Division I assistant coach. I sat both my parents down when I was 22 and said, I'm gonna, and I suggest this to anybody and whatever they do, put a little bit of a, not necessarily a crazy timeline on it, but I said I was 22 years old, graduate. I said I'm gonna close my eyes and I'm gonna chase this dream relentlessly until I'm 30. And then I'll never ask you to pull me out because I know that's unfair of a parent to have to ask their kid to stop their dream. But you have my word, at 30, if I'm not a Division I assistant coach, I'll tap out, go into the real world, make a bunch of money, and be miserable with the rest of the United States. No problem. No problem at all. So, and then, ironically enough, 10 days before my 30th birthday, I got promoted to assistant coach, right? So, like, and that kept going. So, yeah, I had a clear vision. I think that when I was at Providence, the one thing, if you guys are trying to get into coaching, a lot of people get grad assistants positions, and they say, I got 2 years to be a grad assistant, which you do. It's a 2-year program generally. And they never look after year one because they're like, it's 2 years, guys say 2 years, or whatever. They get comfortable. I wasn't like that. I was 27 at the time too. A lot of GAs were like 22. So I was like, I'm looking after year one. And not to get ahead of ourselves, but how I got to Siena
Mm-hmm.
is connection from Benedict's. So the Siena head coach that got the head coaching job at Siena when I was at the ending my first year at Providence was a guy connected with at Benedict's who was recruiting Arnaldo Toro, starting center, to George Washington. And I was really close with Arnaldo when we were coaching him. So me and that assistant got close, and I had known him for 2 years at Benedict's and my year at Providence. So he ended up hiring me as the director of basketball operations. And a backstory to that, which your chat should, a good lesson to your chat on how when you're young, say yes to every opportunity. Say yes to every opportunity, because how I got connected to my boss at Siena
Mm-hmm.
was we stood in a circle after St. Benedict's practice, and someone had to drive Arnaldo Toro to AAU practice. Here's the catch. Arnaldo Toro's AAU practice was Albany, New York, about 3-hour drive from Benedict's. So Coach Taylor says, hey, who wants to drive Arnaldo? I need someone to step up. I'll give you gas money. Who wants him to drive him to Albany this weekend? And everybody's eyes went, and the first thing that went through my mind was City Rocks. That's EYBL. At the time, I had been coaching mom and pop AAU, which I'm grateful for. But I was like, EYBL, I can get it. Me, I'll drive them. And then everyone's looking at me like crazy. Boom, drive them up to City Rocks, right, where Arnaldo Toro plays AAU. And that GW coach played AAU at City Rocks, coached City Rocks, right? I met the director of City Rocks, who I'm tight with now for 12 years now. And then when my first year at Providence ends, I've known the director of City Rocks for 4 years and the head coach at Siena for 4 years. He gets the head coaching job at Siena. Boom. That's how I get hired.
That's dope. That's dope. If you haven't learned nothing else in this conversation as of yet, chat, is to not burn bridges and keep connections.
Never.
Like I said, me and Coach
Never.
Greg haven't talked since I left Benedict's. But we also
Yeah,
always have a
facts.
connection because if you post some good food, I'm letting you know that looks good. Where'd you get it?
Facts.
If I get some good food, I'm tagging him like, yeah, I can get some too.
Yep.
This is a completely different
Yep.
spot than you was at. And after a while, I'm like, wait a minute. Now our paths coexist. Now our paths collide. I'm talking about sports,
Facts.
specifically basketball. You coached me. One of my first real coaches that I really had to like put pain in for. Middle school is like it is what it is. Like you're gonna make the team. You're in the school. It's not that hard. High school, when people start getting recruited, especially at Benedict's, when you have international guys, that rapport with your coach is everything. That's how you get playing time. That's how I made the team. I didn't make the team. Then all of a sudden I made the team from keeping rapport with the coaches. Obviously, having rapport
Facts.
with your teammates helps a long way too, and your peers, because they'll vouch for, hey, this guy needs to be on the team. Like, I know your politics, but hey, we all think that he will help us as a collective, especially if your star players come like, yeah, I need a guy like this. Like how Giannis does for his brothers, how Steph Curry should have probably did for his brother who's got wave. No, I'm just kidding. But, like, that's the type of thing you got to lean on.
But you make a good point about just staying connected. And young people, I think they might think that, oh, staying connected, I got to call you every single day. It's not, it's just not true. I like to say when you're networking or trying to grow a relationship or trying to keep a relationship, you don't have to throw the hook. You just got to throw the jab, right? Like, and that's your point, is like, oh, you comment on the story, that looks good. Okay, boom, jab. Like, oh, here's a good food place, jab. And then you manipulate the mind into thinking like, oh, I just talked to my man, last week, but it's been 3 months. right? So, but it takes effort to, it definitely takes effort. But how much effort does it take? You see a good pizza on there, yo, that looks good, right? And I think it's important, super important, to stay somewhat connected. I don't care if it's just a liking of a story to the people that knew you when you started out. Because those are the dudes that know you and know that, like, if you get big and you on some bullshit, yo, you're not being your authentic self. Why are you doing this now? If you get big and you're authentic and others don't believe you, nah, he's been like that since Benedict. He lined us up, played us one on one, boom, boom, boom. So I think guys like yourself, Dalen, Matt, any of you can call me tomorrow and not talk to me for 3 years and be like, yo, I'm in Virginia and I got a flat tire. I'm an hour away. Cool. I'm coming. Right. Like that's just a relationship. That's how I carry relationships. But I think it's really important for young people to understand that. Like stay down with you with the people that knew you when you were nothing.
Me and
And I'm
Da-
not saying I'm sorry when you were first.
Me and Dalen are still tight to this day. Like to this day, he visited me in New Orleans when I was down there living out there and everything. I've been to his
Love
house in South Carolina, so it's definitely that connection is always there. It's a brotherhood, but I feel like the game of basketball does that. It connects people in strange ways and it has a way of keeping people connected. Like if you relate
Yeah,
through
facts.
basketball, it's kind of hard to kind of fall out with somebody in that regard. But now we're on your time at Siena. And I never would have guessed that was the backstory to getting that petition. So huge congratulations. I've obviously followed from afar, just seeing all these accomplishments. Like, wow, I remember when he coached me, and now he's really at Siena. Like, that's a huge, huge step. But you still weren't done. So just talk briefly about your time at Siena and what you learned there
Yeah.
and what it meant to you.
For sure. Yeah, Siena was a great spot. They got great fans. It's a really community driven place, family place. Coach Carm gave me my first shot in regards to like official Division 1 job that was paying. Director of basketball operations for 2 years. I felt like I crushed that job because being at Benedict's, being a student manager, being at D3, you wear a bunch of hats. So like having to wear hats, a bunch of hats never really bothered me. I've been trained to do that. So spent 2 years in that role as an ops guy. You basically responsible for team travel, budget, gear, housing, meals, all that type of jazz. And then at the end of year two, I get bumped up to assistant coach. I do that for 2 years, and I'm able to deploy my relationships that I have in Jersey and around the area. That was a great experience, and then just again, like you asked, like how'd you know it was time to jump from Benedict's to FDU? Sometimes you have to make a move to create noise for yourself and momentum, especially when you're really comfortable. That's usually when you have to make a move because really, like when you're super comfortable, at least for me, when I get really comfortable, it's actually uncomfortable because I know that like okay, I might be like getting stagnant here, right? So year four happens. In 4 years, we won two championships. We had wins over Florida State, St. Bonaventure, Seton Hall. Similar to Benedict's my last year. My last year at Siena, we beat Florida State, we beat Seton Hall, and we beat St. Bonaventure. And we kind of had a skid at the end of the year. We were won like 18 games, right? So I was like, this is a good spot to be in. And when the opportunity at Georgetown came, technically in the business, it would be like a step back because I'm not an assistant coach. But the people that thought at a higher level and how I thought was it's a major step forward because you now get to be a part of revitalizing an iconic brand of Georgetown, Allen Iverson, John
Hmm.
Thompson, Alonzo and then the other piece of that is, I wanted to live in a city. I had not lived in a city yet, like and being able to live in DC meant something to me. And for young people on here, I would say one of the top things, being at Georgetown taught me outside of just basketball was go live in a city. Because if you live in a city, when I was at CVS and I wore Georgetown basketball, I could be next to the CEO of Coca-Cola and he could and not know it and he could be like, "Oh, my son goes to Georgetown. Are you part of the basketball team? You're one of the coaches. Oh, nice to meet you. I'm so and so. Okay, boom, 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 boom. Oh, I actually work for Coca. Oh, take my car. Boom, boom, boom. And now you met a dude that makes $20 million a year. That happens all the time in cities. So like
Yes.
that, I loved about being in DC is that I could be out, big politician this, big politician that, and then just building relationships with people. So going to I knew that like I needed to make that move. And when Coach Cooley, offered me the job, he said, "Listen, it's no basketball. It's not a basketball job." So some people would be like, ah, yeah. But what he said to me was like, I want you to help me build this NIL up. It's new and we got to get ahead of it. And I need someone that can also bring this community back together and wrap their arms around their community and talk to every race in every neighborhood. And I think you'd be a good fit for that. So that's kind of what we did. And I loved every minute of DC, man. DC, if you're from Jersey, you don't really even understand DC. Like DC is like a
It's like, oh, so it's just
oh,
close, but it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
close.
It's like I went there on a school field trip and saw the monuments. You don't even understand the food, the nightlife, the diversity in every type of culture. Like it's an unbelievable city, man.
That's a fact. Now that I'm an adult, I can truly appreciate DC to the
Yeah,
fullest.
man.
And now, as you can see, the wonderful hoodies repping. I might gotta get me one. That's a nice
Yeah, yeah,
hoodie. I
man.
might
Yeah,
gotta get me one.
got
Get.
the nice H on
That's
the
why I said I
side.
might gotta give me one of those. Someone in the chat said the real HU.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
But
Hell yeah.
how do you? Because this is something that caught me by surprise in the aspect of like the trajectory of the type of D1 schools you're going to, then go to HBCU. I loved it.
Yeah,
Obviously, seeing what Deion Sanders did, what Michael Vick's doing, Deshaun Jackson, like just people I know. Those are big names, but people I know in general going to HBCUs is something that I love because I went to one. I think I'm the only person from Benedict's hoop wise that went to one prior to Noah,
yeah,
obviously. So it
yeah,
was like for me, it's like seeing you do that. I'm like, oh wow, they got a really good coach. I don't even know the basketball
yeah,
program, but I know they got a really good coach who can help turn the program because that's how they do with us. So going
yeah.
to there, what is that like? Because it's a complete culture shock to any type of school you've been at prior to. This is completely different waters. Everything is
Sure.
different. How is it like being a
Yeah.
coach at a school like that?
Yeah, so for me, and I think you got to make decisions based on people in your life, right? You follow people, not buildings. You don't make decisions on buildings or money necessarily. I know sometimes you got to make money. I get it, but you choose the people first. So my heck, I have the best Boston College basketball. Not even close. I don't. We met when I was a GA at Providence. So my 4 years at Siena, my 1 year at Georgetown, my 1 year at Providence, and then like we've known each other now 9 years almost, right? So that's 9 years of like going out to dinner. That's 9 years of golfing. That's 9 years of smoking a cigar. That's 9 years of phone calls, right? All that type of jazz. But we were both at Georgetown. He got this head coaching job
Hmm.
and he asked me to come with him. And I'm not gonna lie, at first I'm like, caught up in the shit. We brand Jordan at Georgetown. I got the Jordans. I got every plug to every club. I got like,
I'm in
every
DC.
restaurant reservation. I'm in DC. I said, "Oh, hold on, champ." Like and then we had a couple conversations and then honestly I asked for some things that I didn't know he was going to give me, but it shows his belief in me that he gave them to me. I asked for associate head coach title. He gave them to me. So right off the bat, right there, that title is just not thrown around in this business, right? Not every staff has one. So, okay, he gave me that. Um, I asked to be in charge of scheduling our games. Like a lot of people don't like that. I think it's one of the most important parts of coaching. And I think I'm decent. I have a process about it, how to schedule. So I wanted to be controlling who we played. That's important. He said, no problem. I hate that. Go ahead, take that. I asked to help and be in charge of be the liaison of staff for NIL. He said, no problem. Boom. Go, do that. Um, and then really what put it over the top for me, I asked him, yo, you're going to need a really good director of basketball operations because an HBCU is going to be a little challenging because it's a low major and the processes are going to be different than what you're used to. So you need a sitting Dobo. And one of my boys is at Rice. He'd fit this job well. I want you to hire him. He's like, oh, look, I'm in. After one phone call, he hired him. So my boy at Rice had just gotten fired. The whole staff got fired and let go. So if I can get another man a job, I have to go. So my boss is awesome. He gave me all those things. Now that I'm here, it's not even close. This was the best decision for my career because associate coach GM, he allows me to be myself in a business that doesn't really want you to be yourself a lot of times. So that's really I've really grown, especially in the NIL space, and a lot of people, ask me that, why like HBCU, I wear this sweatshirt in the airport. I get the double take, and then they're like hesitant to ask me, like, "Is that you work, you go there now?" Yeah. And I'm just like, "Oh man, I coached there, yeah, yeah." And I get more love with Hampton stuff on than Siena, Georgetown, Providence, or anywhere in the
Mm-hmm.
airports. It's insane.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people ask me that. I didn't make a decision, on HBCU, but I did in my mind. I said, "Hey, this is just another like this is." I felt as though that working at a HBCU was just another like bullet in your gun of like, yo, you've done it all now.
Mm-hmm.
E3, high school, manager, GA, ops, whatever. Um, but since day one, I've never felt like, oh, I'm going to work at HBCU. Like I never. First off, it's 2025. That's first off. There's whites on the football team. There's white head coaches. Like
Yeah.
Hampton's very progressive. Like so like I just signed a white kid from Omaha, Nebraska. To so like and our president put it best when he was talking to the kid from Nebraska. He was like, we just treat everybody like family, and that's really what it is. We have homecoming this weekend. 30,000 people are going to come there. I'm not going to get looked at sideways. They're going to be like, "Yo, gee, what up? How's the team looking?"
Yep.
Right. So I've never felt that way. I think this place is special. I think that the one thing we do battle that you kind of alluded to in recruiting is that other coaches have not been here. So other coaches here HBCU, they might think it's window air conditioning in units in the classrooms. And
Crazy.
what it's crazy, bro. It's crazy because every kid that we brought on a visit the last 2 years in the portal, every kid says the same thing. And this shit on the water? It's right on the water. And then they walk in the arena and they say, "This your arena?" And they say, "Oh, this your weight room?" And what? Yeah. I'm like, "Oh yeah, let me guess. Every coach is negative recruiting. I get it. I get it." So that's a long-winded answer, but I'm passionate about this place. I'm passionate about my boss. I think we have a great staff, and I believe in people. And our athletic director and our president were both new. So you got to look at these things. Like you said, you have a process, right? Athletic director was new. President was new. Want the basketball team to be good. Investing in it. Da, da, da. Now we got our challenges. We're considered like a bottom, probably like whatever job in this league. It's hard. We're not in the MEAC anymore. We're in the CAA, College of Charleston, Towson. But I also, if you got to go where you can make the biggest impact
100%.
in jobs, right? So like I felt as though I'd rather right now be at Hampton than certain other schools in our league because Hampton's not supposed to win. Hampton ain't supposed to be shit. Hampton's not supposed to have resources. So if you do something at Hampton, it's going to be 10 times like magnified.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas some other schools, and you do have a little bit of money, and you do have some resources, yeah, you're supposed to win, right? So I felt as though we can make the biggest impact here at Hampton, and it truly is a national brand.
I agree. You touched on it. Homecoming's coming up. It is homecoming season. Is this year what? Second homecoming now coming up?
Homecoming, yeah, I'd never seen nothing like that before last year. I think we got Wale coming, Fabulous maybe or something. Yeah, last year was Rick Ross.
Yeah, yeah. So welcome to the HBCU experience. I'm glad you got to experience that. I'll come
Oh
down and
yeah,
I'll come. You know what? Next year I'm gonna be at their homecoming. I'm going to mine this
let's
year.
do it.
It's my 100-year anniversary for my school, so shout out to Xavier. I'll be at homecoming this year. I'll be streaming some of that. But I'm gonna come to Hampton and come see y'all play next year. Mark my
Yeah.
words. Y'all heard it here first, chat. Hold me to it. We're gonna set that up. I'm gonna come. But like the fact that, like you said, everyone that goes there, when they see it, they kind of fall in love with it. I feel like your story, like I feel like you did the same thing. Obviously, you followed the people, but the people and where they are matters. Like if those
Sure.
same people were back at what's the first school you said? I forgot already. The
Oh,
small one.
Fairleigh Dickinson.
No. After that, the one that you were there for all 4 months. Those same people are at that
Oh,
school.
Warlock Hartridge.
You're
Yeah,
not
Warlock,
going.
the
You're
high
not
school.
going back to Warlock Harvard though. So like, I feel
No,
like you're saying it still all matters, and the fact that what I'm saying you're able to shout out Monty in the chat, man. Shout out my guy James, my brother James, man. Appreciate you, my guy. I see you in the chat. Shout out Benedict Salum, my teammate, backcourt mate. But to see like how passionate you are about your craft and just being able to give back, especially to younger people, like it speaks volumes, and I think that helps with recruiting. Would you say so yourself?
Oh yeah, I'm not like listen, I'm not selling anything. At other places I felt like I was selling stuff. I don't need to sell anything. And like there's not many things you can do in life the first time anymore. There's not many firsts to be done. But an HBCU has never made the NCAA tournament out of the CAA conference.
Facts.
And I'm almost positive an HBCU has never made the tournament out of a predominantly white conference either. So, like, if you come to Hampton and you take Hampton to the NCAA tournament, for the first time ever an HBCU did that in a predominantly white conference, you have the red carpet rolled out from you. And now in the time of NIL and basketball, what's the difference between going to a low major or a mid major? It's high major and it's low major, especially as like a freshman coming out of high school. So if
Mm-hmm.
you're coming out of high school, you're a freshman, you're being recruited, you need to go where you play. So if you were getting recruited by all A10 schools, you should probably go to the CAA and not and take out any weird shit that could happen. Or maybe like because you're still gonna go against grown men. Go where you're gonna go play. Just like Isaiah Pasha, he went to Delaware last year instead of going to some high majors, killed it, rookie of the year. Now he transfers and gets a ton of money from Virginia Tech. So
Mm-hmm.
that's my thing with kids here. But here's where the difference comes in. And here's where the difference came in for Noah. And Monty's in the chat, so or whatever. Noah went to a bunch of different schools. Then he came to Hampton, graduated from Hampton. He's already been back to Hampton like 2 or 3 times since he graduated in May, and now he's overseas and whatever. But he felt as though he felt a family vibe from Hampton. I seen grown men at homecoming come up to Noah and say, "Yo, man, we knew you. We're not dumb. We know you had other options. We really appreciate you rocking with us for your last year." Because they know the processes at HBCU. Yeah, your check might be a little delayed. Yeah, the printer might be broken. Like there's shit you got to get through. But it's a grind that all of them go through together, and they actually say that when Hampton kids get into the workforce, they work circles around a lot of people because they're used to dealing with some bullshit, right? It's not
100%.
everything perfect. So for me, if you're gonna come to a school for 1 or 2 years anyway, and your goal is to transfer to high major, you might as well come to an HBCU like Hampton because they are going to rock with you. Like you can come here for 2 years, transfer to Texas Tech and go to a Final Four. And I bet you two things. Number one, you're going to shout out Hampton. You're going to come back to Hampton in the off season because you're going to love it and you're going to love the vibe and your friends or whatever. And then no number two, I just they're going to have you for life. The alums are going to have you for life. So I truly believe that the alumni chapters across the country, you already know this, the Greek life, all that type of jazz. Like he, and I say this to a lot of recruits, and listen, most don't listen. Most just still go take the more money. So no problem. But some do listen. We got a freshman on our roster here that turned down Arizona State to come here. So some do listen, and he's going to be rewarded from it. So I think I don't feel like I'm selling anything. I know I have to recruit, and that's what I do. I do recruit, but I work for the best boss in college basketball, who's my friend. Don't have to sell him. I've seen what the donors and alums can do for young men. I've seen what donors said to the kids that have other options, like Noah, yo, we're rocking with you, so we got you now. I've seen that we play in this Chris Paul Classic this year down in Atlanta. I seen me play in DC for the Battle of Reach, the Real HU. I seen me play on All Star Weekend against North Carolina A&T in LA this weekend. So like you can't. It's this vibe. It's a vibe and it's a platform that is not just another low major. So
Facts.
if you turn up at a HBCU and you really put it up on the map when you had other options, people are going to be messing with you for life. And what I said to Noah and what Noah's dad really like felt too is like, yo, you don't have anywhere to go back to. He's like, if you rock with Hampton, you're going to go back to that homecoming every year. And that's my point to young people is
That's a
like this
fact.
could be this is a weird situation, not weird. This is a very, very unique situation. You could come to Hampton for 1, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, whatever. And if you treat it with respect and do it the right way, you can always come back to homecoming. So if you're only
Always be
going to go
loved.
somewhere years, you might as well rock with the HBCU because you can have the biggest impact and you'll have somewhere to come back to. You're not just a mercenary. You know, I'm going to go to this school and that school. That's my recruiting rant, man. That's it.
I like it. I like it. And I mean, you're at Hampton. It's a bigger school than mine. My school's NAIA, so we're not even D anything.
Yep.
But we just
Yep.
had 3 guys leave Xavier and go to PV, which is D1. So it's
Yep.
like the talent is always there, and a lot of people always think, especially coming out of Jersey, if you go D3, if you're not D1, you're not good. It's like no, there are
Yeah,
different
no,
complications at each level, especially from Jersey. But once you get to college, for the most part, there is talent everywhere. The biggest difference
everywhere.
might be one mistake, a grade, a family situation. That's about it. Outside of that, these players should be playing at the next level. So, because you are a college coach at a HBCU, I do want to show you one of the guys that was at my school when I was there, simply because I can kind of relate to his story. And he's been on the pod as well, so I always show love to my guy. He has a podcast as well to talk about a pod. His name is Ed Carter. I'm going to put his highlights on like really quickly. Just going to watch over it. And as we're watching, I just want you to kind of, as a coach, break down like if you were recruiting him, is this the type of player you'd want at your school? And then just kind of give feedback, because a part of this that I kind of want to touch on is a lot of people don't know what it's like to be recruited, what recruits are looking for until they have that first conversation. So when these clips come out, kids or whoever else is trying to, and this doesn't have to just for school, it could be for going to the pros, etc. But like just how to kind of tailor their game to obviously play with their game, but still know like, all right, on the next level, how would this translate, or how would a coach want me to be able to do something like this? So I'm put his highlights on really quickly, and then we just kind of just watch that, because I feel like it's not easy. Not everyone can have an eye for talent, and we're gonna watch. And this is right before COVID. Like that. Turn that down. All right. His name is Ed Carter.
Yep. Yep, and shoot off the dribble.
And this is our home gym. Huge.
Yeah, yep. Crafty. So what I would say as I watch this to guys that are trying to be recruited too is a highlight tape is great, but a highlight tape is when you go see the doctor and they check your vitals, they check your blood pressure, take your temperature. It's called the baseline, right? Like they get your baseline.
Mm-hmm.
So I view highlight tapes as like a baseline kind of information. Okay, this is the baseline because you're putting this together, and you're not gonna make yourself look bad, right? But like, are there certain things that translate, right? Like this kid, he can shoot off the dribble really well. He's got a step back. He looks, has decent length. Finishes through contact a couple times. So like if I'm watching this, I'm like, okay, deep range. Is he doing it in multiple games? Some of you guys making highlight tapes, you only do it like one game, like use multiple games. For highlight tapes, I would keep it to 3 minutes max. A lot of coaches are going to watch the first 90 seconds and determine if they're going to pursue that athlete more. So what are you going to do in those first 90 seconds of film to stand out, right? All these things matter. Don't have obnoxious music in it. I think that's important. Yeah, I think all those things are important. This kid definitely would be intriguing if it was now with the portal. I look at the score too, right? Like, what's the scoreboard? Like, some kids are making highlights and they're in when they're down 50, right? Like little things, little things like that.
Cut. Hey. Yo. Oh, I think I don't know what this is. This Control, bro.
Who was this?
This Control. Cut.
All right, we good. There we go. But yeah, so I mean, basically watching this, I would say he checked all the boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yep.
Obviously so the reason I put him on specifically, and I wanted to hear you talk about him first, is because he actually started D1.
Yep.
At Detroit Mercury.
Makes sense. I can see it.
So he came down, and like you said, he wanted to prove himself early. So he was the type of player that ended up becoming a GA. He was a grad assistant. He started coaching. He started helping the guys. He could shoot, but he's one of those guys who was like, how do I play you? You can shoot, you're a combo guard, but we have a defensive-minded guard, and we have our actual guards. So you're the 3, but then you're only 6'3", 6'4", so you're not as tall. So that's why I put his tape on specifically, just so you can kind of see, like, okay, like I said, there's talent everywhere. You know that as a coach, but just to kind of give guys an example of what a coach would look like you said, 90 seconds. So when you guys are making tapes out there, don't make it extremely long. I'm someone that is an editor. You saw it from the beginning. I did my own grind. So back when
Yep.
we wanted film, we wanted tape. Yes, could we actually for you guys? Yes, but at the same time, I didn't even wait that long. I took my own initiative. I would record my own stuff, make my own edits. So hearing a coach give you that feedback, and that's why I feel like I'm good at it now because I had people like you around at an early age giving me these knowledge like, hey, don't make it too long. Depending upon where you're trying to go or who you're trying to get to scout you, tailor your tape towards the type of program you're going to. So if you're going to a defensive minded program, put a little bit more defense into than offense. Offense is great. Offense will figure itself out. They already got a 20-point scorer per game. They already got to, find ways that, oh, we need a guy, our defensive rebounder, he's graduating next year. Oh, this guy grabs a lot of boards. Like, tailor your videos for what you actually are trying to accomplish. Similar to how you tailored your roadmap to where you're at because of what you're trying to do. Similar to how I'm tailoring my who I collab with, who I interact with on stream for what I'm trying to do. It's the same thing in all crafts, and you guys heard it here first. Like this is someone who's living it, breathing it, been on this grind. Like you see the first year on there, it says 2016, and it really starts before that because he started at Benedict, so we're like 2013. It's now
Yeah.
2025, so don't think that because things aren't happening tomorrow, next month, even next year that it's over. You gotta keep going because for all you know, you quit today and tomorrow could be the day you made it. Coach Fahey said it himself. He said 10 days before his birthday. 10 days. 10. That's a week and 3 days. That's it. Before he hit the goal he wanted before he gave up. So it's just like keep going, keep grinding because you never know when your call is gonna happen. And this resume is very impressive. And what we talked about a little bit off camera, we'll touch a little bit more on camera. Now that Benix has a new coach, one day, not soon, but one day, would you consider going back and coaching there? Would that be something that you do one day in life?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think at the, I want to chase some things in my career now, but I don't really want to, be in college basketball into my 60s and even maybe in my late 50s. I think the prime of your coaching career is 35 to like 50. That's kind of just my objective opinion. I think it's a young man's game, not saying 50's young, but like, when you start to get into your 50s, it's difficult. But the challenge is sometimes you're getting high major assistant jobs making $482,000 at 50. You're not just going to walk away from that, right? But yeah, if I could map it out, I always said to my family and friends, I'd love to end my career at Benedict's and just get back, teach, coach a little bit and whatnot. And one thing for kids getting recruited that I also want to touch on is like it's also just to bring it back to that, it's how you present your tape too. So if you got guys in here that are trying to get recruited, how you present your tape in an email. So like try to have your coach reach out for you. Coach, AU coach, high school coach, trainer. Then if you don't have anyone, you. Never your parent. It makes it look like your parent's speaking for you and you can't speak for yourself. So don't do your parent. But if you do a coach, now that coach just is basically saying, "Hey, I got a great relationship with this kid that I'm going to stamp him and reach out for him." So like that's my one piece of advice that me and we were talking about like off stream. I literally just started a TikTok and an Instagram on helping kids with that. Just like learning how to write emails and whatnot. So, but yeah, he'll bring it up now. I literally have 9 followers, nothing crazy. But um, I just started a couple weeks ago because all these kids send me these emails
Right?
daily. I get like 30 of them trying to get recruited. And I just kind of, say, hey, change this. Hey, don't do this. Boom, 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 boom. So just trying to give back to you guys. But if you're getting recruited, keep the email short, concise, to the point. The video 90 seconds to 3 minutes, and then try to get one of your coaches to help you out.
How
So yeah, it's called Good Recruit. It's on TikTok and Instagram.
how long is this? How long are these videos roughly?
No longer than like 40 to
Oh,
60 seconds.
yeah, we could watch one. Which one you want to watch? What's a good one to watch?
You know what? The most recent one is me. This is a great piece of advice when you're trying to get recruited because this pisses me off the most.
All right.
Take your phone off Do Not Disturb. This is day one of giving recruiting advice to high school athletes. If your phone is on Do Not Disturb constantly throughout the day,
your phone
and
off
we're
Do
trying to
Not
call you,
Disturb,
college
please.
coaches are trying to call you, it's just going to keep going to voicemail. And then eventually we're going to stop calling you. So if you know a college coach is trying to call you, take your phone off Do Not Disturb. I got to go to practice. Follow for more. I'll post day 2 tomorrow. Take your phone.
And then just the email one, it would be how to be organized right there, like with 1,500 views. And then
I want to point
then
out 2
use your
things in this
subject
email.
line wisely,
I'm a D1
fellas.
college
That's the
basketball
first thing
coach
that will
reviewing some recruiting
attract our
emails.
attention.
Number 1, look at the subject line. The subject line is what's going to grab the coach's attention first. He gives his name, his class, his height, his weight, his position, and where he plays at. So everything I need is right there, and I know exactly where he is and what I need to do to contact him. Number 2, he uses the school's name that he's reaching out to. I underlined it in red. He says Hampton. That tells me that he's putting in a little more effort than just email blasting 500 coaches. So that subject line is really important. Make sure you guys weaponize that and it's organized so we know who exactly is emailing us immediately. I want to point out 2 things in this email.
That's not.
You guys want to follow? Free game, nothing crazy, no fancy cameras, just me talking some shit.
I'm about to put it right now in the chat so y'all could on TikTok and Instagram. Y'all can go follow.
Yeah, same thing.
I got you right now. I'm gonna put it right in the chat and pin it for the rest of the stream. We're not gonna be on too much long because we've been on a little while. I know a lot of y'all probably watching the game. I'm a Giants fan. My Giants lost, so I really don't care about football right now. But
Yeah. I'm a Cowboy fan. I don't need to watch until probably another 30 years.
yeah, y'all beat us too. I wasn't too pleased about that at all.
I don't even like that.
I was not too pleased about that. But as y'all can see, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave this the TikTok up as well so y'all can see it. But you touched on it, like it's about free game because a lot of people they see things on social media, and everybody just wants to be given a handout, quote unquote. They just want knowledge. Want knowledge. A lot of people don't want to do the homework for it. So this is a mixture of both. Obviously, you have to go and follow. You have to go follow up and actually listen to the advice you're hearing. But here is a free tool for us giving back to the basketball community of ways to get that knowledge. Some people, it's not about what you know, always about who you know. And so if you know me, then you know my resources, and Coach Greg is one of my resources. Like he didn't have to do this, so I want to give him his flowers. First of all, going to HBCU. Second of all, coming on the stream, like you said, it's about building everyone up. Like everyone I know is doing great things. Like I said, we shouted out all of our guys. Dame is coaching at Miami. Dave is getting into training. I know Monty was overseas. Toots coaching. Totes is still at St. Peter's hooping. Like we shouted out all of our guys who we've met along the way from our beginning journey, simply because we're all doing big things, and we're all going to continue to do big things. Shout out to all the guys that came and watched the stream today, because I know I hit up all you guys. Huge shout out to Noah as well. I know he tuned in a little bit, but his time zone is different. But like these are the same people, like you said. Noah was in 8th grade, so yeah, I knew of him, but he was never someone I just necessarily hung out with all the time. We were significantly younger than me, and I'm traveling, you're still there. But as I've gotten older, I still have those relationships, still have those rapports, so where those people still tap in with me. We still have conversations, we still have connections, and we can still collab and work on things. So as soon as he went there, I DM'd him like, oh, I see Coach Greg up there too. Like, you're going to have a blast. I already graduated from HBCU. So from the school perspective alone, the type of vibe, like I know you're gonna enjoy it from the type of person I know you are. But then also knowing we both have a mutual connection at that school, or you're gonna have an actual blast, and that can go for a lot of people in a lot of different programs. So don't be afraid to go where you'll feel welcome, where you'll feel loved, because like Coach Greg said, you don't want to just be just another number, or just another name. And a lot of reason that people don't choose Nike when they're choosing endorsement deals, because they don't want to be just another name. They want to be a standout. They actually want to make an impact. So you could do that at HBCUs. Like I'm an advocate for it. So this was a big deal getting an HBCU coach, but I'm also one of my brothers on this stream, because you can really touch on it, because it does matter. It makes a difference. Obviously, we've seen it on the highest scale in terms of Shador Sanders and Dion going to Jackson State, but it happens all the time. And this is a real example for people in Jersey to see, like, someone went from a D1 to HBCU, and they're making a difference from the beginning, and they're giving back. And here's one way to do. So make sure y'all go follow him. Like I said, his tag right there. Obviously, before we end this, like I said, we're not gonna be here much longer. I do want to just, if you can give the chat, give anyone watching, any hooper, just a motivational, words of wisdom, And then also, if you could just tell everybody what's your goals for the rest of the season as well as for the next year or two, because I believe in positive affirmation. Like you said, you have a plan, you have a structure. So speaking your goals out loud, I feel like helps you, validate the things you write down. So motivation and then your goals before you wrap up.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. I think if you're a hooper out there and you're trying to reach your goals, you got to put in the work that no one else wants to put in. It's really that simple. You got to get in the gym by yourself and you got to be able to outwork anybody. And that means little things as being disciplined on your sleep and your diet to bigger things as in working out with a trainer or whatever. But at the end of the day, you got to do the boring things really well. It's boring work on right hand layups in transition by yourself with no one in the gym. It's boring to shoot 300 free throws by yourself with no one in the gym. It's boring to work on your handle when no one's watching. It's really boring just to make open shots with no one in the gym and no music on. That shit is boring. I get it. But at the same time, boring things are going to get you paid. I say that I coach our bigs here at Hampton. I say hook shot is really boring. I get it. And one of our bigs is from Newark, New Jersey, unique. I tell him every day. I said, but if you make 4 hook shots and average 8 points a game, you could change your family's life with this NIL. So do the boring things over and over and over again because they're going to get you paid and they're going to get you to your goals. So if you're on your grind and you feel like you're not reaching, where you want to reach, I think you got to just self-reflect and ask yourself, am I, and that's why I said to our guys, hey, have you gotten to the gym today? Have you watched film today? Or did you scroll on TikTok a little bit long? Or did you play the video game a little bit long? You got to do the things that no one else wants to do. It's that simple. And you got to put in the work. If you don't put in the work, you're not going to get anywhere. But my mindset since I got into this was they have to pay somebody. So why not you?
That's a
That's my
fact.
mindset. It's written on, I think it's written on my goals up there. They got to pay somebody. Why not you? My goal, my number one goal since I started out at Benedict's is to be able to do what I love around the people that I love. So my goal is to end up coaching at a college back in New Jersey. That's my goal. That's the long goal. But the immediate goal right now is to be the first HBCU to make the NCAA tournament out of the CAA conference because they give you the hardest schedule. They don't give you, the best, resources. They pick you last in the conference. We practice in kind of a rough gym right now because ours is under renovation. Great. Don't care. Do not give a fuck. We want all the smoke. So no problem. And we infuse that in our guys. Yo, cool. You want to come here? You want to play us? No problem. You got all the fancy stuff? No problem. No different than St. Benedict's. At St. Benedict's, we had a weight room with a bench press where the bench had no padding on it.
That's a fact.
So you're doing that. You're doing that with no padding.
Straight
And so
iron.
that's just how I'm built. That's how my head coach is built. So my goal is to get this team. Our goal is to get this team to the NCAA tournament, and just we're in a conference where people think like, you're HBCU, you're only 2 years in, you're not supposed to be cool. No problem, no problem. So for me, that's just what it is, man. My long term goal, coaching the state of New Jersey, around my friends and family. My short term goal right now, get this program to the NCAA tournament.
And just so y'all can see live in the flesh, like you got to practice what you preach. God, you see Coach Greg over there on the sideline pointing at him. Hey, come on, like this isn't.
Yeah, and by the way, that's our arena. For everybody that wants to say HP, that's our arena, 7,000.
You know what I'm saying? Like this is not. And it starts in practice. You practice how you play. You play how you know what I'm saying. How you watch, like film study, all that matters. You got to be disciplined from the beginning. So I'm glad. Once again, thank you so much for being able to come on here and just give this word of advice because we get to watch it. We get to see it. Like we're in such a digital age that you have no reason to not have answers, to not figure things out because everything is literally at your disposal. Like it didn't take me long at all to do some homework, figure out if I was an athlete trying to be recruited, I literally just found out every school he's ever coached at. If I was an athlete trying to be recruited and I specifically wanted to go to Hampton, I'd be like, all right, I see Coach Greg has been at these schools. I see he's had these records at these schools. I've seen at each individual school they run this particular type of offense. When he's there, it has this particular type of outcome, this type of production. So in the email, how he presents it, I'll make sure I'm highlighting what I'm great at. I'll make sure I can show how I can also assist in helping these things that I broke down. I'll show that I broke it down. So you can see, like you said, the extra effort that I put in. And all that will translate because guys feed off of that. He didn't start off just being a coach. He started off as a grad assistant worked his way up. Like I say, he's a players coach. Players coaches are also players at heart. So, but it all starts from the same foundation. Same foundation. He's locked in with City Rocks. He understands the culture. Like understanding that our coaches and people recruiting you, essentially a lot of them were either in your shoes or understand your shoes probably better than you do. So you got to be humble. You got to keep putting that work in. But I definitely want to put this on so you can see like the guys do grind. The guys do work. The things we just talked
Yeah,
about, like he literally just talked about hook shots. That's a variation of it. It's a tough one, but that'll change. You do that 3-4 times a game through contact, that will definitely change your life and your family's life. So this is just putting visual aids to the words we're speaking. Cause we're not just saying stuff to say stuff. We're backing up the things we're
yeah.
saying too, with real facts, with real visuals, and we're staying hungry. So once again, thank you so much coming on. Shout out to Hampton,
Yeah.
the real HU. I mean that's up to debate. I let the HUs argue that one out. I got my own XU-DU feud down here with Dillard. Homecoming season is amongst us. I hope you enjoy this homecoming coming up. Once again, y'all, this is Coach Greg Fahey. He's the associate head coach at Hampton and the general manager. So if y'all are in the city, make sure y'all check out a game. Go support, go show love. I'm going to put up his TikTok one more time so y'all can go follow us. Also, his Instagram, the Good Recruit. Y'all can get some good knowledge, good advice. If you know anyone trying to get recruited actively in the portal, things of this nature, when these clips come out, share them because this is very knowledgeable. Give them to your kids. They can watch them. AAU team. I know I got a couple AAU guys in here. Y'all can go tune in and look at this stuff because he's a D1 coach. He's been in Georgetown. He's been in Providence. These programs that y'all dream to be a part of. The programs that when you hear about the greats, they talk about these schools too, and how you mentioned Allen Iverson. So this is real facts from real people in real life, 24K. But I'm going to wrap it up. I am your host, Lango John.